July here in Moore Park. 4th of July comes tomorrow. And then the 5th of July. It's my friend's birthday. And have you asked? No, you don't. So obviously she's sitting there mourning her own birth. And if you care to call her. Anyway, on that note, so go ahead and let's start with some, we're going to start in, just checking a baseline movement as usual. From mobility, we're always looking to find that movement that you want to reconnect with or to and see what's there for you. And it could be as simple as taking your arms over your head. It could be as simple as touching your toes. One of these mats is not like the other. And, you know, find a movement that you want to do. Go ahead and find a movement. It doesn't have to be complicated. And actually, if it's not complicated in some ways, it's better, because then you're not trying to figure out what you did the last time to get better at what you just did. You're just doing a movement. So anyway, again, touching your toes is a great way, because you can feel how tight those hamstrings are. Believe it or not, your hamstring tightness affects your shoulder tightness, affects your neck tightness. So all of these things actually can affect everything. So allow yourself to do other baseline movements, possibly even through the session. Give yourself the opportunity to learn something new about yourself and move differently. All right, from there, we'll stand nice and tall. And we're just going to start with breathing. Place your hands on your belly. And we're breathing to reconnect ourselves to our parasympathetic nervous system. All day long, you work in the sympathetic nervous system pattern, which is that fight or flight. You're kind of making decisions. You're kind of getting ready for the fight someplace. The parasympathetic tends to shut off because it actually is more controlling on the rest and digest muscles, and so it doesn't necessarily come up all the time. But if you live all the time in the sympathetic, your body's constantly overworking. If you're in pain in any way, your body's constantly working hard to try to get you out of pain. And so give yourself the opportunity to just bring balance to the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system. Interesting. Reset your feet so they're actually level, and you too. There you go. Very nice. Very nice. You guys are married, and one foot's forward and one foot's back, and you have the other one going on. I don't know what you guys do at your own home, but when you come here, we're straight, okay? All right, draw the chin. Draw the chin to the sternum.
That's why I was laughing.
Everybody's out today. And then drop the chin to the sternum and bring the chin up. So lengthen, feel that length in the front line of the body. Now I want you to take your hands and I want you to place them on your collarbones here. Pull down, let your chin drop to your sternum. Keep pulling down, inhale, pull up, and see if you can really move that skin and that muscle. And then release, and again pull down and lift that chin up. And release, and then pull down, lift that chin up. Pull that skin, feel that stretch in your neck. And then one more time, pull down and lift up. And then release. Good. Turn your head to the left, turn your head to the right. Let your eyes lead the motion. Good. As you turn to the right, I want you to pull from your right collarbone, and then turn your head, and then pull your right collarbone. Pull the skin underneath your right collarbone. And then again, pull in, and then again, pull in, and then again, pull in, and pull that skin. Tap it in and really pull. And one more time, pull that skin away from the shoulder. Good, and then come rotate. Rotate around your torso. Keep that head and chest up. Make sure that back heel lifts, because that's going to help the rotation of the entire body. When you anchor your feet down, you're really twisting the spine. You're asking for a lot of problems there. Rotate so that back heel fully lifts. Back heel fully lifts. The net result, or the end movement pattern on a rotation, is walking. So you want to know that you can move fluidly. Two more, and last one. And then let's cross crawl. Right hand to left knee, left hand to right knee. About 5 more. Let your arms swing like you're walking. 3, 2, and the last one. Good. Go and check your baseline. Good. Better, same, different. Good. Fantastic. Good. So you're looking for some change somewhere. Sometimes you don't notice the change because you're looking for what you just had in pain, but you are noticing other things also. Was it just easier to fold forward? Was it easier to get in and or out of the position? It can be as simple as turning your head easier. Everything your head does affects the rest of your body, whether it's on the inside or on the physical outside. It's going to affect the rest of your body. So learn to notice the things that maybe that just are the add-on to the benefit of the movement that you just did. All right, go ahead and come onto the ground. Go ahead and put your hands on the tops of your shins. So you're holding your shins and you're lifting your chest up. So have your feet be flat enough so you're not trying to bow and you're not trying to reach around. So if you can't reach all the way to the top of the shins, that's fine. Reach around the side of the shins. So get into a comfortable seated position and then hold the shins. Again, if here rounds you, sit up tall and just kind of hold the outside edge. Lift that chin, lift that chest, and then drop. When you take out an entire part of the body, like we've just kind of taken out the legs, we're not standing, we're moving from the just really the pelvis up, you really get a different movement. Stay as tall as you can. Notice that when you drop your head, do you also want to sink your whole body? Can you stay tall and move? Now, as you're doing this, do you notice any cramping or any kind of tightening of anything else? Do you have to change the position? Maybe the legs are too close in. Maybe the arms are not pushing down enough. Maybe you're lifting your head and neck too high. So even though whatever my range of motion is, good, bad, or indifferent, or whatever you perceive it as, yours is different than mine. So different isn't better or worse, it's just different. Lift that chin up and then drop that chin back down. Good. Take your hands behind you, different hand position. Look over your left shoulder, look over your right shoulder. If that's not comfortable for you, then hold your hands in a different position. Begin to take your right hand to your left knee and your left hand to your right knee and rotate around. Again, if you want to bring your feet closer at this point, you can. If you want to bring them further apart, you can. If you want to drop them on the ground, put them on the ground. So if you're uncomfortable or in pain in any way, move. Don't just sit there and be in pain. It's not going to get better just sitting there hoping that it goes away. 2 more. And then last one. Then we'll move the lower body. Head forward, chest forward. And so try not to move the feet too much. Just roll. And just roll the hips. So even if you can't go all the way down to the ground, go to where you can. Now I'm shifting forward and I'm keeping my head and chest up as much as I can, just to create more space for my torso, my lungs, my breathing. Notice if your breath is changing, like you're having a hard time noticing if you're still really connecting into your breath. Begin to turn further around you. And look over the shoulder that you're turning towards. Look back towards the front and look over that shoulder. You can look down. You can look up over your shoulder. In a sense, if we begin to move kind of like a baby would, because there's no prescribed movement for children, it's just move and play, then we kind of learn how to stretch our neck again. We learn how to use our eyeballs all the way to their end range. We tend to look within a particular range. 10 to 15 degrees or so is about as much as we'll deviate from one side to the other. 1 or 2 more each side. And last one. Go ahead and come into all fours. Now if you want more padding for your knees here, go ahead and get it. If you want less padding, that's fine as well. That seems a little awkward though, if you want less padding. Just knees rocking. Good. Good. Knees rocking and crawl one step forward. So your left hand or right hand go forward with your opposite knee and crawl back into a rock. You don't have to bring the arm of the leg that far forward. It's just one crawl step forward, one crawl step back. Again, notice if you're breathing. Notice if you've stopped breathing. Are you holding your breath? If you are, you're probably moving too fast for what your body is wanting to do. So just slow down. It's okay. Slow down. You move too fast. I think there's only like 3 words in most songs. Because I can't remember 7. And who knows what the rest of the song is. Ba-ba, dee-dee, dee-dee. I'm glad they put dee-dees and da-das in songs. So much more helpful. Feeling groovy. Ba-da-da-da-da-da, ba-da-da. One more time each side. Good. And then rocking back and forth. Just a regular knees rocking. And again, if you need more padding, just fold the mat. Then you're going to go to a 90 degrees knees rocking and feel immediately possibly that stretch in the inner part of the leg. If you want to have your toe of your back leg curled, that's fine. And then switch, and then other leg goes out. And then come back in, regular knees rocking. Good. Now take your right leg forward. And again, you may need more mat for this. And just back and forth. Your front foot can come up. And the heel can come off the ground. You play with it the way you want to do it. It's neither right or wrong. Pain is wrong. So if you're in a lot of pain, you might want to switch your position a little bit. And then switch again. Right leg forward, left leg back, or vice versa, whatever you're doing. Head forward if you can. Good. And then come back in again. And then let's come all the way down and go back to that kind of seated position. Let the chin drop. Let the chin lift. And then turn towards your left and turn towards your right. And you're not trying to crank yourself around, you're just rotating. So don't think of pulling and gripping yourself and driving yourself around the midline of the body. 2 more. And last one. Keep your eyes up. Look up. Look over your shoulder. And then come all the way onto your back. So you're going to start with your body in kind of the shape of an X. Legs are out wide, arms are up overhead as it's comfortable. If putting your arms overhead makes your arms just kind of hang in space, no bueno. You want to take your arms down somewhere where they're comfortable on the ground. So you might want to just kind of find that spot. If you can take your arms completely overhead, straight overhead, perfect, and they could be just relaxed on the ground, fantastic. If it's not, find a spot that's comfortable. Same with your legs. If this is very uncomfortable to have your legs straight, then it's not worth it to be in. So just bend the knees and you just do one part of the body at a time. So just make sure that your body's actually starting in a more of a rested position. So remember, you want to try to line up, and with this type of movement, the sympathetic and the parasympathetic, we're not working to high intensity. You're working to find evenness and balance in the system. So bring the head up, look towards your navel first. Then look over into your right armpit. Take your left arm and reach just across your to your right side, and then roll yourself back. like a rag doll, and then pick your head up, look towards your toes, look towards your left side, reach your right hand towards your left hip, and flop back. Head up, look, and reach. Head up, look, and reach. And again, reach. Now, it essentially happens almost simultaneously because we're pretty good at moving. But I want you to really focus in on, can you move your eyes first, then your head, then your body, whatever ability of your body you have. Keep that right hip down as you reach to the left, and keep your left hip down as you reach to the right. Now, in your hip, the upper part of your pelvis, kind of where your pelvis meets your torso, you may notice some pull on one side more than the other. Stay on that side. So if I've got some pull on my left side, I'm going to stay rotated to my right, and then I'm going to let my left hand follow and come all the way up and over my head and roll back, and I'm going to stay on that side. So I'm kind of making a big, like a half circle. So I'm going to pick my head up, reach across, keep my left hip down, and then follow my left hand till it comes all the way overhead and roll back down. And then I'm going to do that one more time. Pick my head up, look, follow that hand. So I'm getting that length, all those different angles on the muscle, and back down. Let's do the other side. Even if that's not your trickier side, reach across and notice if that side maybe feels a little stickier than you thought. Roll all the way, take your hand all the way overhead and roll back. And again, reach across, all the way up and over, and then down one more time. Reach across, and then look up and around and over. Good. So let's do the lower half of the body. Bring your right knee into your chest, or your left, it doesn't particularly matter, just to your neighbor, and then roll the body over towards the left side, or the right, depending on. So you want to bring the left knee in, first to the chest, then kick that left foot as far away from your left shoulder as you can, and then bring the left knee back in. And then we'll do it again. Knee in, and rotate across the midline of the body. And that should feel pretty nice. If you added the stretch movement to it, you'd kind of give it a little bit of tension and pull with your right hand. But because we're not working on flexibility, flexibility is a byproduct of mobility, you want to just allow the body to move where it does and keep playing with the location of where you put your leg. So maybe you take your leg up a little higher. Maybe you cross a little lower. Maybe you draw your knee into your chest even higher, and then see how far you can take your foot across to the other side. So it's not just that you move, it's kind of noticing all the little different angles, positions. Can your toe turn further to the ground and your heel stay towards the sky? You're going to get a big stretch all the way up into the glute. And then back down one more time. Bring your knee into your chest. Turn that toe maybe to the ground and rotate that hip. And then bring your knee back into your chest. Good. Bring your knees into your chest. Bring your arms up and over your chest. Bring your right knee and left knee into a tabletop. Try to keep those knees pulled in using your abdominals, and then begin to do a dead bug. Very often I notice that when people's lower backs hurt, when any part of their extremities hurt, your core just isn't firing correctly, and so the timing of your movement is very off, and then you get kind of stilted or kind of pulled on one side because the core really isn't stabilizing the spine, really isn't stabilizing the movers, which is the arms and the legs. So the main movement of the core is really just stability for the movers, which are the bigger muscles, the kind of the gangly things that stick out of the bottom of your butt and out of the back of your head. 2 more, right arm and left. Keep those knees pulled in. Try to keep the belly kind of drawn towards the head. 1 more time each side. Good. And then bring your knees into your chest and just rest for a second. Go ahead and rock yourself up, roll yourself up, bring yourself up in some variation or fashion, and let's redo your baseline again. Good. turn your head to the right and to the left again, and just notice that movement of the head. Look at that bunny over there. Big old bunny. That wasn't a trick. I wasn't like, I made you look, and there's really a bunny over there. You don't have a, there's no bunny probably at your house, sorry. So roll your shoulders up, back, and around. Keep doing it. I know, it's like, again. Oh, that's much better. You know when they film people like the women in like the what were those like this TV shows like Dynasty and that kind of stuff, and they filmed them through gauze. Yes. Just so they look better. Harry, when I look at you. Oh, Harry, it's so good.
Takes the years off my.
Yeah. Softens everything up. Oh wow, look at you. I've known you for 25 or 35 or whatever years. You are amazing. Come on back to the ground. Last baseline, better, same, different. Or you forgot because I just kind of was doing shenanigans. Same, good. Just do your baseline, and then we're going to come back to the ground. Then we're going to come back to the ground. Good. And then come back to the ground. Yeah, see? Always in trouble. See, if I face that way, there's one direction. And then if I face that way, they get the other direction. There's no good direction. So, on your belly. Hello, back there. So, drop the chin to the sternum, lift the chin up, and again, the toes can be curled to under or flattened out as you'd like. If you're noticing it's difficult for you to point your toes back, notice that, because that is an issue kind of somewhere up the movement line. Find that length from the front line of the body. Lift the chin, look up with the eyes. This is too much extension in your back, lower yourself down further. So don't try to come to a point that's not available to you and you just kind of are holding or resisting in. One more. And then look over your right shoulder, look up and over your left shoulder. And to your right and to your left. Now you can hang out in one side or the other and just kind of notice what's going on. That's a great way to kind of see where your body is kind of sticking. When we just kind of swing in and out of each movement, it's real easy to just kind of go through the movement. But you want to try to find that kind of nice, even kind of movement from right to left. But notice what's going on. Hang out in it a little bit. Spend some time. Come on. Get the load off. One more time to your right and left. Good. And then we'll start this time with our lower body. So arms up or wide, you choose. Turn your head to your right shoulder, and you're going to lift your right heel towards your butt and then take your right foot over the left side of the body. And then look down with your head and then roll back. And then lift your left leg up and roll. And then down. And right leg up and roll. And down. And left leg up. I know if you have a hat, it's a little bit cumbersome. Because you really can't put your head down all the way. And then down. And one more time. Roll. And then back down. Now we're going to do the upper part of the body. So pick your head up, take your right hand and roll. If you want to go all the way over towards your back, have a good time. Pick your head up, use your hand, look at your opposite hand as you roll all the way back, because you're trying to not roll like a barrel. You're trying to roll in segments and roll as far over as you feel comfortable. Pick your head up and roll back. Roll over and back. Roll over. And again, if you're having a hard time not rolling shoulder and hip together, then I want you to practice rolling less. Do less movement. So pick your head up and just take your arm. Don't let your hip come off the ground at all. And just play with keeping your hips close to the ground and really moving the upper body. So you're discovering where it all kind of falls apart by moving slower and doing less. Then again, then just continuing on and pushing through like in a center touch feel. Good. Come back to center. Bring yourself up. And then let's do a bird dog. Reach out, right arm, left leg, left arm, right leg. Nice and long. Do 4 more each side, right arm and left arm and right. And then pause. Good. Sit back to a comfortable seated position. Bring those forearms back down to the ground. Breathe into the rib wall. See if you can go back to that deep diaphragmatic breathing. See if it's just easier to get back into it. And then bring yourself up. And then once again, finish with a baseline move again. Then do the baseline move that you started with, and then just do another move, maybe that you haven't done already today. So if you're really good at one of them, maybe try another one real quick and just kind of see where your body took you today. Nice. Good. Good. Adding something in and just kind of seeing where you're at right in the immediate really actually is almost a great way to see if the whole body's then just functioning better in a different way. So we're going to do a hand treatment just to finish up. So just go ahead and grab, here, I'll give you a couple balls and just hand them back.
Sure. Use that in your hand.
And just hand them back to Reggie. I think we have 4. Yeah. So, oh, I'm sorry. I thought he had 4. Oh, that is 4. So go, if you have a, Kathy, if you want to join us, come on in. Just grab a mat. You can sit on the ground. Grab, if you have melt balls and that kind of stuff, or if you have a smaller ball that's soft, you can join us for this. Let's go back and sit on the ground again. Sit in a comfortable seated position, whatever you'd like. You can be cross-legged or something that's just comfortable-ish to you. If standing is more comfortable right now, then stand. So go ahead and take the ball in your hand, and you're just going to squeeze it. Okay. Well, not going to hurt you. And you're walking right in front of a live camera also, just so you know. Go ahead and take the ball in your right hand and just squeeze and just notice your grip strength. Also, when you do this, close your eyes and notice if you notice any tingling tension or pressure into your neck, shoulders, your forearm, your elbows. And release, and do it again. And release, and release. So you're just kind of changing your hand position slightly each time you squeeze. And then we'll do the same thing with the other hand. Notice it first. Notice how your hand wraps around the ball. And then do it a couple of times with your eyes closed. Breathe. Good. Go ahead and take the ball in your hand, and you're just going to place it so your index finger kind of touches the ball against the heel of your hand. You don't have to hold the ball up like this. It's just hard if I show you from way down here. You won't be able to see it. So you can put your ball down if you want. So it's a press. You point with the index finger, and then you press with the pad of the finger. Point and press, point and press, point and press. And then you're going to go to the next one. If you're a flamenco guitar player, this is fantastic. And then do the next one. If you aren't, you might find a discovery of a movement pattern that you're going to be good at. And then pinky. If you're on a computer all day long, this is a nice thing as well. Thumb, point and press, point and press, point and press. Good. And then let's do the other hand. Just take the ball in the hand and point and press. times, 3 or 4 times each finger. If you're having a hard time kind of moving back and forth, just go slower. You can also take the ball to the ground and hold the ball and point and press. And then point and press, point and press. I just happen to be skilled at this, very skilled. Yeah, I don't have many others though, that's the problem. But I can do this like all day long. But you won't have to. Go ahead and take the ball in between your hands at the pad of your thumb, and then interlace your fingers, and then you're just going to move that ball back and forth between the heels of your hands to the edge of your thumb right at the base knuckle. So back and forth. And what you're doing is gliding that ball back. So you're trying not to make a circle like you're making like Play-Doh ball. You're actually, or if you want, you can go back and forth on the ground. So you're moving that ball in a half circle or rainbow pattern. Just doing it together just evens it out. You've got both hands at the same time. Good. Go ahead and pause. Pin the ball tighter between both thumbs, and then go up and down with the ball. Got to keep the tension and pressure similar and quick. It's tight. Now move the thumbs like they're fighting back and forth. And then move the ball around in circles. Try to keep that tension right on the ball as consistent as you can. Pause, squeeze the ball in, and little thumb war. 1, 2, 3, 4, I declare thumb war. Feeling groovy. Pause, and then we'll rinse, and we'll just kind of, we'll rinse. Take your hand, take the ball to the hand, down knuckle to nail. And then rinse the other hand. If you don't have a ball and you're just watching us, I hope your coffee tastes good. Just sip it away. And then we'll do friction. Just nice and quick. All different kinds of directions. Go on the outside edge, inside edge, across the fingers. Move your wrists, move your hands. Good. Go ahead and pause. Take a big deep breath. Take the ball into your right hand. Just squeeze and just notice. And then take the ball into your left hand. Good. And then go ahead and come on up and redo your baseline again one last time. And then look to the right, come to stand, look to the left. Drop your chin to your sternum and bring your head up. We are done. Thanks guys, have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow for Super Stretch.